Amen to all prayers. May God answer all our prayers. So, welcome back to this forum, ladies and gentlemen, and our esteemed guests present here. Tonight, the 19th of October 2025, we have all gathered to witness the grand finale of the third edition of the GAM-IND Interstate Debate Championship 2025. I am Moses Owen Dobson, the Secretary General of the Ninth Executive Council of the Association of Gambian Students in India, and I am your host for tonight. Together together with me right here is my deputy, whom I would now invite on board.
Yes, a very good evening to each and every member of Gambian. A very good evening to everyone who has joined us to witness this very, very special occasion. As the SG rightly mentioned, today is the grand finale, the day that everything has been summing up to, the day that we witness the clash of titans. I am David Jiba, the Assistant Secretary General of the Association of Gambian Students in India, the Ninth Executive Council, and I am proud to be your co-host alongside the Secretary General, that is Moses, as he rightly introduced himself. We thank you all for being here with us, and then to continue with our journey, we would now like to call on the President to give us his opening remarks.
Assalamu alaikum. May I confirm my audibility?
Yes, you are
Am
audible
I
and
audible?
visible.
I'm
Yes.
actually on a journey, so it might be quite challenging for you to see me. Anyway, greetings and a wonderful good evening to our wonderful guest speakers. That is from our able alumni, our guest poets in our midst. Of course, the University of the Gambia Debate Association team and the adjudication team that has been with us from the inception. To the and also to the Gambian family for coming this far, to the states as well. I'd say a wonderful good evening. So to start with, this evening, we will be witnessing a mouth-watering clash of words and ideas from across India because it's the northern side versus that of the southern side. And to put this whole stuff to context, the states that will be debating this evening or this afternoon for those joining in the Gambia were actually states that debated in the past. In the first edition, they battled it out in the semis, and then Haryana were able to defend themselves, getting into the finale and winning. They came in the second edition, and Andhra Pradesh actually, I would call it a payback or a redemption from their side, and we were able to have Haryana making it to the Andhra Pradesh making it to the finale. So today, I suppose we'll be witnessing such of a thing. I wouldn't have to say much about our guest speakers or our guest poets. All I'll have to say is thank you so very much for honoring our invitation. This means a lot to us. Even in 11 hour when we reach out, you're always with us, especially to the Gambian alumni, because we all know we are more connected to our alumni than we are disconnected to them. They're always there for us. So having this finale wholeheartedly dedicated to them by the Executive Council, the ninth Executive Council, tells a lot of the connection that we have with them. That aside, to the debaters, we pray and hope that you will serve us well, because debaters will always say, be cooked or cook or be cooked. So we would see who is going to do the cooking and who is going to serve us the food. As far as today's motion is concerned, because it's a very debatable topic, and I believe it's a very thrilling and a burning topic as far as Gambia is concerned. That aside, I send again my heartfelt gratitude to the Education Ministry of the Ninth Executive Council for their wonderful coordination in this, and alongside the entire Executive Council in ensuring that we have what is expected. To the state alcalos, I would say thank you very much for ensuring that we had 10 states to participate in this year's competition, alongside our very own Gambian members who have always been supportive, serving as fan bases for their various states and whatnot. So that being said, I, Saju Ikejaju, the president of the Ninth Executive Council of Association of Gambian Students in India, declare this said session, which is the finale of the third edition of the Gambian Interstate Debate Championship, open. Thank you very much, and back to you, the moderators, which wow is this.
Thank you so much, His Excellency, for that for that opening remarks. So now to proceed without wasting much time, we would like to invite a member from the UTDGA to kindly give an opening remark.
Um, can you guys please confirm my audibility?
Yes, you're audible, please.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. Good evening. I don't exactly know what time it is there with you guys, but over here it's 2:30, no, 2:45 actually. And so I think there's not anything that I'm going to say that has not been heard from the very first round of the debate, because at this point it's been like a journey, almost a weekly thing. And first of all, my name is Kutu Bombay, and with my judges, I have Alif Saha and Mr. Jibril Jai, who also joined me. So, first of all, I would just like to thank the Gambian Indian Students Association for doing this collaboration with the University of the Gambia Debate Association. I think when you look at the art of debating and public speaking, it gives people the freedom or the permission to talk about issues that would normally bring a bone of contention. So, debate, in a sense, provides this shelter for people to speak over issues that they normally would not be able to do so, and express opinions that would most of the time not be accepted by the public or by people around them. And I think debate is doing a good job of creating that space for a lot of people. And personally, for me, I've been debating for quite a while, and same as all the other adjudicators. And if anyone was to speak on the way debate has, I don't know, shed light on our lives, I think I can definitely do that. And I think from people that have made it here, to all the participants from the first round to the second round to all the way to the finalists, you've done a wonderful job, and it's been an honor truly to grade the thoughts that you have in your head and to analyze the stuff that you're telling almost 50 people at a time every Sunday, or any day of the week that we have this debate. And I think I'm going to stop here and hand it over to whoever is going to speak next. Just to thank you guys so much for this collaboration. It means a lot. It just shows that how time and distance is not enough of an obstacle to stop Gambians from all over the world to come together and still have something in common that they could bond over. And that happens to be debate in this context. And I thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. I apologize for there might be some bit of noise where I am, but apologies for that. We thank you very much, and then we'd like to move on the next on our agenda. That is the invitation of a very, very, very prominent member. This member here is someone we have deemed very, very necessary to bring him in as our guest speaker. Now, questions may lie on who exactly this person is. Why exactly does he possess this? What aura does he possess that makes him capable of being a guest speaker of this very, very august event? Guys, I tell you today, this guy is no other than Mr. Cisse. Mr. Cisse, Mr. Cisse. You might not have heard of him, but you must have heard of his work. You might not have known him, but you have come across his work somewhere or another. Now, that brings us to the question, who exactly is this Mr. Cisse? Who is Mr. Lamin? Why is Cisse? To do justice to this, we would like to read out a few, just a tip of his biography. This does not cover everything, but to just tell you who exactly this person is. Ladies and gentlemen, the grand finale of the Interstate Debate Championship is about to explode with brilliance. It's about to explode with energy, and it's about to explode with inspiration. As in our midst today, we have two extraordinary individuals whose visions, whose innovations, and transformative leaderships will ignite minds and they will spark ambition. To start with, we'd like to welcome our distinguished first guest speaker.
A proud son of Banjul, whose academic journey spans excellence from Kudang Primary School to Bansang Junior Secondary, and then a proud graduate of the mighty St. Augustine Senior Secondary School, a visionary leader who served as vice president and later president of the Demo Youth Association. the very first communication minister of the University of the Gambia ICT Club 2013-2014 academic year, after which he got his way to India with an innovative and forward-thinking mindset, became the founding father of this noble association which we all now thrive in, the very first president of the Association of Gambian Students in India for the academic year 2017-2018.
This iconic man holds a BSc in Information Systems from the University of the Gambia, and then an MSc in Information Systems from Osmania University, India. So beyond his professional success, he has a passionate mentor. Beyond his professional success, has him as a personal mentor, a passionate mentor, a peer health educator who has participated in numerous community awareness projects, ranging from health and agriculture to leadership development.
This icon and trailblazer is Mr. Lamin YCC, founder of GAM-IND, a visionary IT professional whose career stands as a masterclass in innovation, leadership, and digital transformation. Currently, he serves as the head of information technology at Vista Blank Gambia Ltd and chief technology officer for Vista Group Gambia. Mr. Cisse superheads cutting-edge initiatives that redefine operational excellence while ensuring compliance with investment standards set by the Central Bank of the Gambia.
Yeah, with over 10 years of progressive experience, Mr. Cisse has led high impact projects, including core banking migrations, third party platform integrations, and large scale digital transformation initiatives. So, a former member of GAMCEL, where he excelled in diverse roles such as customer relations clerk, internal auditor, system auditor, roaming and interconnection officer, and fraud officer, building a solid foundation of expertise across technology, auditing, and risk management.
Mr. Cisse is a lifelong learner who has undertaken specialized training both within and outside the Gambia, spanning cybersecurity, digital banking, anti money laundering, ethical hacking, and database analytics. He continues to empower others through IT awareness and cybersecurity. And now, with hearts and minds all mesmerized by such a biography, we welcome Mr. Lamin YCC to share his journey, insight, and wisdom that will undoubtedly inspire us all. Mr. Cisse, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, everyone. Uh, First, I would like to confirm my audibility if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, you are audible, please.
Good, good. Thank you, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon uh, to our Gambian listeners. And I would like to start by appreciating my invitation to be part of this educational program. I must say, um, from the first day I was approached, I feel the excitement, and I must personally thank Sajo, who I had communicated with before. This is my second interaction with the student association after my departure as a
Here's
president
Madsen.
of the association in 2015. Of course, I would like to comment that the association still have such a programs, and I can see every time I
Mrs.
speak.
Tuesday, will it be possible if you can have your camera on? We would
Okay,
really
good, good.
appreciate the private
Yes, yes,
response. Okay.
you're right. You are right. Yeah. Can you see me?
You are
Not yet,
It
please.
it's coming on. It's
Not yet visible from our end, please.
yeah. Can anyone? Okay. Can you see me?
Yes, yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Okay. So the whole journey started in 2017, but before then, I believe there were a series of student associations in India, and some of them are associations based on that were formed within certain states, and some of them are associations that converge as some students, but the structure was not able to continue due to one reason or the other. But our motivational factor was due to a series of experiences students in India face financially, socially, um, educationally, and a whole lot of things. So different stories were explained, and we were able to um, gather some of these experiences and put them together and see what we could do to assist ourselves and whoever is coming after us. So in 2017, we met in Chitori. Chitori is within a state that one of the debaters state today is AP Andhra Pradesh. Yes, and we came from TS, that is Telangana state. We were able to combine students in almost 8 states that has Gambians present in. So we look at these stories. We decided to form a structure, but you know, there is one particular state that I I must say I am proud of is Chitori, because then at that time we had 18 Gambians present. There were more than that, but some of them, due to one reason or the other, they could not uh, stand the difficulties at that time and had to leave. So these students were in a situation that was very poor at that time, and we are looking for assistance locally and internationally to see if they could cope. So when we met in Chitori, we decided to um, talk to students across India, and this was successful. And we decided to form that structure where we communicated and do an online voting, and we were able to get audiences. Students participated in it. There was a lot of interest, and then the association was formed, and I happened to be the president. And in the meeting today, sorry, this program today, I have further sent invitation to my vice president. I don't know. I will, if he had joined. I have not confirmed this, but Jani Ibrahima, if you are in the call, you can let me know. And I also invited my communications minister, who was Sehja, who is currently the IT manager at GRTS. Ibrahima also is one of the senior officers currently with Council Technical Team, and both of I had invited them on the call, if they are with us. I think they can let me know. So this is where the journey started, and a lot of motivational factors to set up this association. But when we formed the association, we decided to not only stop at communicating among ourselves, but to continue a fight against what has what has um, I mean triggered the formation of this association, which happens to be a lot of constraints, complaints, that we receive from students across. First, look at the students most of the students are ICCR sponsors, and some of those sponsors have their payments are going direct to their colleges. I mean, not the school fees, but if their living and accommodation or their feedings are all sent to their schools, because the schools will claim to give them the accommodation within their dormitories and feeding as well. So if you look at the food that they give to people in India when you are in dormitory, some of them, students cannot bear them. They are too poor. Even those in India can confirm this. And then the living somehow might be better, but there might be a lot of things, beneath. So someone is talking about the volume. Can you hear me clearly, or is it low? Yes. So yes. Okay. Good. So you can see that we had to take this to discuss this among ourselves and forward this complaint to the embassy of the Gambia. First, in January, yes, in December 2017, we had to plan a journey to Delhi from Hyderabad. Students, some of the students, executive members came from Bangalore, some came from Chittoor, and we met at Hyderabad and moved to Delhi. That journey alone is an experience of its own. You will love to learn this. We spent 29 hours in a train. This journey was sponsored by from our own pocket monies. We had to board a train because we could not afford an airfare then at that time. So we spent 29 hours on that journey, a day plus. It was a very long journey. Some of us, this is our longest, journey in our life, beside our air journey to India. So when we arrived in Delhi, we had met some of our executive members in Delhi because our membership was open to all peoples in different states, and they were the ones that lodged us in their universities. And we had to find our way to the embassy because we had earlier communicated them. Our first meeting had some pictures I would love to share, but I could not get them downloaded on this computer. So we had the discussion with the embassy officials. They were very welcoming. They were very keen to listen to us, and then we had to put to them all our complaints, which were further handled by the embassy officials to our individual schools. Universities, and most of them were taken care of. So we had to put again some payment mechanism on our membership and contribution mechanism. That our intention was to assist some of the students that have financial issues. But again, we also had to um, fight for some stipend from the Gambia government, which even before the formation, there were some funds coming, but after the formation, the fund had to come regularly, and we had to ask for $500 for a period. But at the end, because of the budgeting and also from higher education, also they had to approve for us $400 annually. So this was received during our time, and then we were able to handle some of the financial constraint within. It helps a lot. But again, during our period, we had also organized a lot of educational and social activities. Example, the independent activity, the graduation activity, even this not debate per se, but there were some discussions online beside our meeting, kind of competition and all that happened during our time. But then they were successful to the extent that people
Um, I
participate
believe,
in.
okay. I believe it was your network. We would kindly request you kindly summarize a bit as the guest poet is a bit in a rush as he has another event, please. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yes. So I can do this. If I'm not, or if my network at my end is not quite well, maybe I can put off the video, because sometimes that can be a factor. Yes. So just to summarize it a few, and the reason why I had to go through this route is to further motivate people that are still in the association, and to at least encourage you, to continue your efforts, and then you hand over to whoever would succeed you, and then be able to continue with the good work you are doing, you know because today we feel proud. I mean, we feel very proud of the efforts you are doing, the continuity of these, services you are on at the moment. So, just to go back a minute, on the point I was talking about, that is the achievements or the motivational factors for students in India, and some of the success factors behind those things. Where one of it was the independence celebration, and the mechanism we used was, we decided to do some of these activities in different states. During our time, the independence celebration was done in Pune. We have some few students in Pune. We had to, I mean, converge into the people have to travel as far as Delhi, Bangalore, and different states to converge in Pune. And we successfully, celebrated our independence in Pune. And then the graduation ceremony that we organized was done in in Bangalore, and it was at that graduation ceremony that we had to wrap off our executives and hand over to a new executive. We successfully conducted the an election, and then one of the ways that you can also succeed in that handed over process is to make sure some of your executives that were part of you would continue their leadership positions in different capacities, because they would have some history, they would have some managerial skills, they will be able to understand, some of the activities that you do during your time. So we did that, and it was successful. We wrapped it up and handed over to the new executives. Yeah. So another factor that assisted the continuity of this association is fun. So during our time, we we were able to gather a figure of up to 3 lakh, and we were able to hand a portion, or a huge portion of this figure, to our upcoming executives. And if you form an association, you want to make sure that there is something that binds you, and this is another form of commitment that your members could come and see, oh, okay, it's serious, I can put in my money and all that, and it will continue. So we also had some constraints. I talked to Sajo about this. It was our registration in India, because each state has its own laws and students come from different states. If you want to register an association in Delhi today, the association might be valid for Delhi but might not cover for students in different states. But this is something that you can work out with the embassy. And I would advise that whatever you are doing, let the Gambian embassy be aware of what you are doing. Let them understand you. And as you register among yourself, you also register with them. Make sure students register with them, and you give them feedback on your activities as well as your membership and people that are present in India. So I can understand today you have city, state, interstate alcalos, and I had one of the alcalos speaking, and then
Uh, I'm very sorry. It's could you please help us? Okay, thank you.
yeah, yeah. So I had one of the alcalos speaking, and then I understand that most of the states that you have Gambians present in would always have or would have people representing them, because sometimes students will live here and they will march to India. They wouldn't either heard about or hear about the association, neither to talk of joining the association and all that. So this will help, and then the network is good as I understand. I'm following your activities. I may not have much to say today, but I hope and I wish that we stay together and we continue the network, and you also continue the good work you do. And I will pray that the association, whatever contribution that you have done,
Mr. Cisse?
yes.
Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but could you we urge you to please summarize a little bit, as the session has a timing that is allocated to everything. So if you could please just summarize a little bit, because we have a guest
Yeah.
speaker on.
So yes, I'm almost done. I'm almost done, which is
Okay,
why
thank
I am saying a lot of things. So as it is now, I'm just giving you some words of courage, some words of encouragement for the association, and I thank you for giving me the platform. I'm very much grateful, and I wish and hope that this network continues. So it does not only continue for students in India, which is one thing we are today advocating, is to have a network outside India, as well as having um, alumni students from India present in the Gambia form, and then we would always continue to network and continue our good work. You know, so because it helps, and then thank you so much for inviting me. Just because I had to cut all that I wanted to say. So I congratulate you, and I wish the debaters um, good luck. And you know, the debate, just to say a few about that, is not about winning or losing, because I feel whatever either the losing part or the winning part will contribute is an educational, I mean, factor. It's an education for someone. It's going to be a learning point for someone as well. So thank you for giving me the platform. Thank you, everyone, and I thank you all.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Cisse. We appreciate your time and for those beautiful remarks. So now, without wasting much more time, ladies and gentlemen, amidst us again is a renowned and prolific writer who's a wordsmith, pen pusher, word processor, an ink stained red and Gambia super poet star by the name Hussein Fofana, the great and unbeatable Fofana Kani, the Dinka.
This master of metaphor is a Gambian teacher, an acclaimed writer, and notorious spoken word poet. He was born in Farato and raised partly in Jokadu Daslami. Fofana Kanyi Dinkendo completed his basic and secondary education in Mingdao before obtaining an advanced diploma in secondary education from the Gambia College.
Fofana Kanyi, the Dinkendo, is a current student at the University of the Gambia, where he pursues a bachelor's degree in development studies. A passionate and ardent star in literature work, who uses creative expressions to capture hearts and minds with his woven words. The Dinkendo uses poetry as a platform to explore themes of culture, identity, and social reality. With hearts and minds all in a blaze, we welcome Fofana Kanyi, the Dinkendo.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible there.
Yes, please, we would kindly appreciate it if you would have your camera on as well. Thank you.
Well, I'm on my way to rehearsal, so I think it will be a little bit odd.
All right, that's noted.
Yes, and sorry for that. I would have loved to stay until the end of the event, but I'm also preparing to do an event which is slated for November 29th. So I am under preparation. And yeah, but I am so happy and honored to be here. I want to thank Sajo for reaching out to me. When he reached out to me, I said straight away that's yes, no, no. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here. And I guess I have one piece to recite, right?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you. So the title of this poem is We Are Sad, and it is based on the realities of Gambians, how we are living in our country, and the situation that we are facing that everyone is not happy about that. So it's called We Are Sad, and here it goes. Look at these faces, the heartbreaking plights of the youth, the heart-wrenching cries of the women in the markets. Tell me, who is happy with the bubbles head filling up their pockets, beheading our economy using their greedy machetes? I know this point won't grace main media stream stages, but that's alright. I will use my voice to amplify it. My G Faminator will capture the lines and make them seen, and DJ is here to turn the words into visuals. No need to sugarcoat them. I will keep it real and raw. See, my tongue is not a pill to be swallowed. It is a triggered bullet that is meant to be fired. So I will fire to blow away the devil's brain from your skull. I will speak. And I am going to speak without fear. I am not doing this to earn a name. So listen to these words that I'm about to thrust into your heart. Let me breathe some sense into your mind. It looks like you have lost it. And now you act like a hungry idiot. Bidun kumodun ta nyinyala. Katumbalu nya wala man nyinya na toro matul jija. Wata niko kontano ba kering wokuma ka man nyinya ko wanyang wuliya. Funding ke jolle bijang alimin balu nya tinya. Til kunte ba bangko dingola nafa fengol kasunya. Hamoni londo ba funding ke jolle buri bari manku keno. Divine dreams in our hearts and mind, but restrained by unfavorable circumstances. We have talking dreams behind the concrete shadows of hunger. Our hope is that of a hard-burning rock covered with a thin layer of soil. Every day, pain and hopelessness escort us to bed, so we wake up weak. Unfulfilled promises make us weaker. Having ideas without tools make us the weakest. See, we don't have the skeleton to stand tall. See, every youth is lost in the sauce, having not in their stomach, blown away by the intensity of injustice in their affairs. We are sad of how our situation turns into a rocket science. The projection of our future, there is no good sign. So you speak nothing but good lies, a justification of filling your bottomless pocket. See, I don't understand when people tell lies through their teeth for their own benefits. That is so dumb. See, we are sad. Our heart no longer at ease. Our spirit cross course. It seems, of course, our future dreams. We are living in nightmares, not in dreams. We are sad. Our hope locked in corruption's padlock, deflected block. Our situation has no way to turn back the clock. So that cliche of yours is offensive. Scrap it off. We are not in the seventh heaven. We are dwelling in the land of sadness where you can tell tales and say in politics you can say anything. That's madness. Kolea fele sirin kanko muso mimba tingoto. Mirol be konto ko sutio mi man depanso soto. Ntol, man fen soto. Haninga jiko min soto aldaji ko ya businto. Oton safa man sayin ko. Kibaro bukata sansan kon. Kibaro kata sansan bantale. Thank you so much.
Wow, wow, what a piece. I cannot even get enough. I cannot get enough of this. Yeah, and part of the comment says, what a masterpiece. Indeed, you are who you think and know you are. That was a very great one by Fofana Kanyi, the Dinkendo. So, without wasting much time, Deputy, are you here for the next guest speaker?
Yes, yes. We thank you very much. So we that was a one masterpiece as well. That was probably very educative, absolutely educative. The members of GAM-IND, we could see from their reactions, have actually loved that piece. We would have next guest speaker, that is Madam Rohiyatu Diba. Madam Rohiyatu Diba is probably somebody that all of us yet again would might have heard of or might have experienced some of her works. And I will let the SG give you some little bit of info on her first.
So, ladies and gentlemen, yet get set to be mesmerized one more time by another iconic individual right in our midst. The mother of this association, which we all are in right now. In our midst, we have Madam Rohia Diba, a dedicated and results oriented water consultant currently working with GAP or Ante Group under the WASIP project. This iconic woman is an initiative aimed at improving NAWEC's water production capacity and increasing access to safe and reliable water supply in the Gambia. This Madam Diba, in her role, contributes to the planning, supervision, and implementation of the WASIP project, which includes water transmission, mains, facilities, and borehole rehabilitation, focusing on enhancing the efficiency and sustainability of the national water supply system. Again, this Wonder Woman, or Wonder King to say, Queen rather, completed her secondary education at SOS Haman Jamel School and earned a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Lovely Professional University, India. To further strengthen her professional capabilities, she completed a 6-month Google Professional Project Management course. This woman, who we have right in our midst, the mother of a nation, is well recognized for her leadership and advocacy. She is a woman boss. She served as president of the Association of Gambian Students in India in the fourth Executive Council as the very president and cheerleader, being the first female president of this association. This woman, by the name Madame Rohia Diba, is an advocate for girls' rights and safe hands for girls, focusing on the elimination of female genital mutilation. Her career reflects a strong commitment to education, leadership, and professional excellence. This iconic woman, again to say, aims to inspire young Gambians to realize that with commitment, discipline, and consistency, we can change narratives and create impactful impacts. So now, with hearts all set and inspired, minds mesmerized by such a biography, we welcome Madam Rohia Diba, the mother of a nation, the girl child advocate, to kindly share with us her brilliance. Madam Diba, you may kindly have the floor.
Okay. I don't know whether this will be supported. Okay. Good afternoon to the people attending from Gambia, and good evening to the people attending from India. Thank you so much to the ninth executives of GAM-IND. And before I go further, please, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, please.
I'm sorry. I think my internet was not too good. I'm trying to use my phone instead of the PC. Okay, I would say thank you so much. It feels good, and it's a joy to be here again, to a place I'll always call home. And especially anybody that knows me know that when it comes to Gambian in India, it's a personal thing for me, because I would just give a backstory. When I was initially going to India, I was a private student on a scholarship from the embassy, and on BBA, not to my course as a civil engineer that I am on my career. I was admitted as a BBA student. Then, on my process of admission, when I first went to India, and it comes to this dialogue to development, I think it's really important. It's always good that you share your ideas, you have a discussion, you communicate it out. On the last stage of the admission, and he was like, "Are you okay? You want to do BBA?" I said, "No, I don't want to do BBA. I wanted to do civil engineering, but the scholarship is covering BBA." And he's like, "But why do you choose it?" I say, "Because I felt like it's an opportunity that can come just a one time thing, and I want to grab it. But I don't want to do BBA. Even I do a bachelor's in BBA, I would definitely go back to school again and do civil engineering, because this is
Having
what I
very
want."
little to do with it.
And it's
Tell
like,
Sanchez to
if
get
your
on with the game.
qualification can give you that, why not? They just reverse everything just within a minute. Like, just few discussion, communication comes into play. Like, saying what is in you really helped me to where I am today, because I communicated out what I wanted. We had a discussion, and I was qualified to do it. And when it comes to the leadership part of GAM-IN, I was, I think, on the third executive. I was the third. And on the fourth executive, I don't know why. People think I was the right person to come up. And I was like, why not? If we are saying development, it has to be a sincere discussion, communication, and actions. So if I think that I want to add value to people, I want to add value to my fellow students, I think I have to step up just to be on the board there and share the little things that I know. And I think it was the first time on the executive election we had two people or three people competing for the same position. And I was like, why do I have to go through this if it's just for a president to help somebody? I win or somebody wins is all the same. But all I want to see that is to see the Gambians and seeing India at a different perspective. Because when people were coming to India, I could remember my dad. Somebody was like, "Why will you want your child to go from here to India to Asia? You are not there. Nobody's there. How is she going to cope up?" And my dad was like, "Yo, that's a superwoman. I definitely know what she can do, and she knows what she wants." And this will go to every guy child out there, every guy or a male, female. Just know your word, just know what your aims are, what you have to do as a person. Currently, I'm working for Antia France. Gap is like a French company, and I'm the only Gambian working for them. And I was like, okay, if consistency, hard work can get me to this, doing the same thing could get me to places that I never thought I would be. Thinking that you have to go for vacation and you're going to be paid and everything is going to be handled just to go and approve something. I'm like, hard work is important. And I think for anybody who is out there having something that you truly want to do, let nobody breaks it down for you. You know what it is, go for it. That's it. And for the ninth executive, I am very, very proud of you all. The job that you're doing is excellent because I think bringing up debate competitions for different individuals from different states, this is going to strengthen the bond between Gambians in India. It's also going to help it's also going to help to build your relationships, and the dialogue will come in because I think if somebody is comfortable to share his mind on this platform, will be also in the same position to call somebody and say, are you okay, it's everything working out for you on there and there. Because I can remember on the stories there was somebody, she was in Punjab and I was in Punjab. She was in this area whereby I would say Africans generally don't normally go there. She had an admission there. She was there for 1 year, but she was living with Indians. She was depressed. Just one communication. She came to the Gambian independent in our state. I just have to look at her and know that something is definitely wrong with her. And I think I have the need and the responsibility to ask her what happened. And she's like, I've been in India for 1 year, and I know nobody in this state. I know no Gambian is here, like no African. And I felt like I'm really depressed because I don't have anybody to share my worries and my challenges that I am facing. So I have to bring her up to make her to discourse on people with people that are in the same field with her and help her. Alhamdulillah, now she's a whole MLT lab, medical lab technician. She's working at MRC. And she was in that state. She wanted to come back to Gambia because she felt like she could not do it anymore. So this will still emphasize dialogue to development. You don't know, one idea that you share with somebody can change their life and their own perspective. And I will not keep you all for so long. And I think thank you so much. And if anybody have any questions, you can ask. And for the nine executives, Sergio and the team, you guys are really doing a great job. Keep it up. This one day you'll be proud of your jobs that you're doing, taking your extra times instead of spending it on yourself. You think that you have to share with others for their better development. This is a very big applause for you all. And thank you for having me here. Thank you to everyone that is being attentive and all that. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. We are so inspired. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and telling us about your journey. We have indeed learned a lot, and surely we would have your remarks right at the back of our mind in everything that we do. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you for accepting our invitation. And yes, wishing you all the best in your work right there. Keep making the motherland proud. We are forever proud of you. Thank you once again. Yes, and to our guest poet, Fofana Kanyi Dinkendo, thank you too for honoring our invitation and blessing us with such an awesome piece. We are forever grateful, and this would leave as a trademark forever with us. This is a debate session we shall never forget. Thank you, and we've learned that you are on your way to rehearsals, so we would kindly release you to go for your rehearsals. So now, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the big time we all have been waiting for. Now is the time for the clash of words. Now we are all about to witness not only a clash, but a battle of words. I believe our debaters, even though they might be in an, how would I say, like they might be afraid right now and eager to come and present what they have. But yes, don't worry. We were giving you some time to calm down. No need for your, heartbeat to run faster and all that. So, ladies and gentlemen, get set and attentive as we are about to witness this great time which we all have been waiting for. It's Haryana versus Andhra Pradesh. Is Haryana here for a back-to-back and Andhra Pradesh? Are they here to deny to for semi-finals or finals to just be their last places? Tonight we shall get to know who is crossing over, who would be crowned as the champions of the night, as we have the adjudication decks all set to crown us our latest champions for the GAM-IND Interstate Debate Championship. And without wasting much more time, I would now invite our adjudication decks for the commencement of debate. Do we have the adjudication decks here with us, please? Wow, seems like the adjudication decks are preparing to, yes, Mr. Mbai,
We're
yes,
here
you can.
actually.
Right.
I was struggling to connect and find a suitable spot. So, without further ado, I feel like the speeches before and the points before have definitely done a good job of keeping us at the edge of our seats until now. And without further ado, we would like to call on the first speaker from the government side to give us their submission. Before they could just to go through the rules of the debate, because I feel like this is the finance and perhaps they need a bit more emphasis. You have 7 minutes to make your deliberation, and your first minute of your 7 minutes is protected time. From the first minute to the sixth minute is unprotected. That means anyone could ask you a POI. From the sixth to the seventh is also protected. And between asking of the POIs, you have 15 seconds to ask your question, and you have 15 seconds interval to ask POIs. I'm sure by now, if the schools have made it to the finals, the states, sorry, it's right to assume that they're very familiar with the rules, but just for emphasis purpose, I'm just saying it again. And the motion before the House is that this House will introduce local languages into the Parliament, and we would like to call on the Prime Minister to give their deliberation.
May I confirm my audibility and visibility, please?
Yes, you are. We can see you clearly and hear you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Please
very
do
much,
state your name.
Honorable Speaker, respected judges, ladies and gentlemen. Democracy loses its meaning when the farmer in Basse cannot understand the very laws that govern him. Today, we stand to return the voice of Parliament to the people it serves by introducing a local language in the national legislature. As the Prime Minister of the House, please allow me to give a structure of my debate. First, I will remind the House of the motion, define the key terms, set the clear perimeter for this debate, present three major co-arguments for the proposition, pre-reviewed likely opposition arguments, explain how this policy will be implemented, accept one POI in the fifth minute of my debate, summarize, after which I shall conclude. So the motion before us is, this House will introduce the use of local languages in Parliament. For clarity's sake, let's define the key terms. Local language. According to UNESCO 2023, a local or an indigenous language is a native language spoken by a community that reflects its culture, history, and identity. Parliament, as defined by the Interparliamentary Union, IPU, in 2020, is a national legislative body where elected representatives debate, make, and pass laws on behalf of citizens. Introduce is to formally establish or allow the use of something within an official setting. Hence, the motion means allowing members of parliament to debate, legislate, and communicate in both the official language and the national indigenous language. So to set in the perimeter of my debate, Honorable Speaker, our debate today will focus on elevating local languages to stand alongside colonial ones. We are not calling for the removal of English. We fully acknowledge its continuous importance and diplomacy in global affairs, and we are limiting our discussion to the Gambia for making Parliament more accessible to the people and with gradual implementation. So moving on to my co-arguments, Honorable Speaker, my first argument, which is strengthening democracy and representation. Honorable Speaker, democracy is about representation, and representation begins with language. In the Gambia, according to the Gambia Bureau of Statistics, in 2023, over 47 of its citizens are fluent, are not, only 47% of the citizens are fluent in English. That means half of our Gambian people do not fully understand the debates or discussions that are made on their behalf. But when members of parliament speak in local languages, people can finally understand, question, and trust their representatives. Moving on to my second point, which is preserving culture and identity as well as our dignity. For decades, Honorable Speaker, you will agree with me that colonial legacies made English the only voice of authority, reducing our native tongues to nothing but an informal speech. That is an injustice to our cultural dignity. By allowing Gambian MPs to speak in Mandinka, Wolof, Fula, or any other indigenous language, we affirm that Gambia's identity is not second class, it is equal, proud, and official. When the law speaks in the voice of the people or in the language of the people, it becomes their law and not a relic of foreign control. Mr. Speaker, moving on to my third point, which is establishing public understanding and accountability. Honorable Speaker, democracy thrives in comprehension. According to Afrobarometer in 2022, over 70% of Africans receive political information through the local language. But in the Gambia, and the Gambia is also inclusive, you will agree with me that in our parliaments, discussions are usually done in English and are also debates are also done in English. But when it comes to the general public, they receive the information in the local language. When this happens, certain details are often left out or they are simplified, leaving citizens with incomplete or misleading picture. So allowing MPs to speak directly in the people's language ensures people hear exactly what is said, understand policies clearly, and hold representatives accountable. POI accepted.
Okay. Will MPs from smaller language group be equal empowered, or will this still privilege dominant local language?
My friend, here we are not talking about dominancy of local language and all those things, because unity, people should speak the same language, my friend. So please allow me. Moving on to my rebuttals, pre-rebuttals, Honorable Speaker, I know the opposition may argue that our country has too many local languages, which she already just did, but the truth is, unity does not mean everyone must speak the same language. Other countries like South Africa manage 11 languages in parliament successfully. So why can't the Gambia as well? And they might also argue that translation and implementation costs are they slow down parliaments and are costly. But using interpreters and translation devices cost limits. It is a the benefit of everyone being included. So please, Honorable Speaker, they should understand that we should start small and move forward gradually. So moving on to my implementation plan, first we will start small, just like what I just said. We will use the three main local languages, which is Mandinka, Wolof, and Fula alongside English. Then create a language support system which will train translators and interpreters who will help the MPs understand each other in real time. Then we will use translation devices. We will make the MPs get translation headsets or devices, just like those used in ECOWAS and African Union meetings, so that they can help the speeches in their performed language. We will then expand gradually, and reviewing how well this system works. More Gambian languages will be adopted step by step. So, Mr. Speaker, moving on to the summary of my debate. First, I came to came before motion set a clear, inclusive perimeter, showed how introducing local language will strengthen democracy, preserve culture, and also enhance accountability. I pre-rebuted key opposition claims about provided a realistic implementation plan for success. And in conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the Gambia is a nation for many tongues, yet one people. Our parliament must no longer sound foreign to the very people itself. So let the farmer in Janjanburi, the fisherman in Bara, and the market woman in Basse hear parliament in their own voice. Let the parliament speak in the language of its people so that the people can finally speak to their parliament. With this, with a proposition, therefore, proudly propose this motion. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Madam Prime Minister, for that wonderful submission. Um, Please do give the adjudication panel a few moments to tally our grades, and we'll continue from there.
Walking the talk. The Ninth Executive Council is back at it again with turning promises into action. We proudly present to you the GAM-IND Bantaba, a new initiative aimed at bringing Gambian students studying in the Gambia and abroad under one umbrella to discuss key issues related to the Gambia. Think of it as the local Bantaba we have in our villages and communities back home in the Gambia, but this time in a virtual form, which will be hosted monthly on X, formerly called Twitter. For our first ever session of the Bantaba, we will feature panelists from India, the Gambia, and Morocco to discuss under the theme, The Future of Gambian Education, Global Exposure, Local Impact. So stay tuned as we unveil the panelists for this historic first session of the GAM-IND Bantaba, brought to you by the Information and Communications Ministry under the 9th Executive Council of the Association of Gambian Students in India. Merci.
Um, Thank you back. Thank you and welcome. Let's now welcome the first speaker from the opposing side. I just want to give out this information because the first speaker was speaking and I didn't want to interrupt. If the speakers could please say their names before they give their submissions, that would be perfect. Opposition
Okay,
leader, can you hear me?
Am I audible and
Yes.
visible?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
you
my
are.
name is Tida Kamara, a
Okay, thank
representative
you.
from Andhra Pradesh.
Go ahead,
Can I
Peter.
start? Okay, I rise today on behalf of the opposition to strongly reject this motion that seeks to introduce the use of local language in Parliament. We believe this proposal, though it sounds patriotic, will create more problem than it solves. It will divide our leaders linguistically, slow down parliamentary work, and make lawmaking confusing and costly. Mr. Chair, I would like to give the structure of my debate. First, I will start by reminding the House of the motion, redefine the key terms, widen the perimeter, debunk the baseless point made by the Prime Minister, present my three solid points backed by statistics, summarize, and then conclude. Mr. Chairman, the motion, this House will introduce the use of local language in Parliament. I will redefine the key term made by the Prime Minister. Parliamentary, a group of elected and other people who make law for their country. Source Cambridge Dictionary. Local language refers to language spoken with a specific community or region adopted from Wisdom Library. Mr. Chairman, I'll widen the perimeter. We on the opposition side believe this motion goes far beyond just speaking local language in Parliament. It involves their official use in debate, lawmaking, and record keeping. This affects how laws are written, understood, and applied nationwide. So we must look at the real national impact, political, legal, financial, and administrative, not just the emotional side of promoting local identity. For the local language to be used in the Parliament, it must be used in official decision making. Else, there is really no point in claiming to add something for the sake of communication when it already existed. Mr. Chairman, I'll be debunking the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister made mention of it promote democracy. That sounds good in theory, but in practical, it will create confusion and division. Right? It will create confusion, not inclusion. A nation with many local language, not single one is spoken by everyone. Whose language will be used? She made mention of the Gambia in the Parliament. Only 3 languages will be used. Choosing 1 or 3 language automatically exclude others, create division, not democracy. She also made mention of preserve local language. Are you serious? Preserving local language is important, but Parliament is not a cultural museum. We cannot preserve and promote local language. We can preserve and promote local language in school, cultural program, media, and festival. Parliament duty is to make law effectively, not to serve as a platform for local preservation. For language preservation. Mr. Chairman, I'll be presenting my 3 points. First, I will start by national unity must be strengthened, not fragmented. A country parliament is the voice of unity. Allowing multiple language inside, it threatens that unity. According to UNESCO 2022 report on linguistic governance, countries with multiple working language in their legislature experience slow decision making and higher administrative tension due to translation challenges and linguistic politics. Mr. Chairman, take the example of Nigeria. With over 500 local language, it functions with English, has the official language precisely because single medium and so coherent and fairness. Introducing local language will create chaos, tribal competition, and disunity. In short, linguistic diversity is a cultural asset, but in governance, it becomes a political fault line. A parliament divided by language cannot speak with one national voice. My second point will be legal and administrative clarity will be lost. Honorable Speaker, laws are precise instruments. Every word carries weight. Once local language enter parliamentary legislation, the risk of translation becomes inevitable. A single word different can alter the meaning of a law and cause judicial confusion. Okay, she also said, I will lecture you on this in South Africa. Consider South Africa, which has 11 official language. A 2020 government audit revealed that the cost and time involved in translating laws and debates into all 11 languages lead to delay in legislation and inconsistency in legal documentation. Mr. Chairman, if that happens in a nation, if that happens in a nation with strong resources, how much worse will it be for developing nation? We cannot afford to trade clarity for complexity. In our lawmaking, when the law speaks in many tongues, justice becomes silence. Okay, you can go ahead with your POI.
Okay, so are you suggesting that unity can only exist when we abandon our native languages?
Our parliament is not a museum for local language, and it's not a museum for culture. Mr. Chairman, I'll be presenting my 3rd point. Financial and logistic burden is uncertain. Let's talk about the economic reality. To implement this motion, the state must provide interpreters, translation equipment, staff training, and documentation services for every local language used in Parliament. According to the European Union 2023 expenditure report, maintaining multilingual translation service for just 24 languages costs about 350 million euro annual. Mr. Chairman, now imagine a developing country with dozens or even hundreds of languages. The cost will be crippling. That same money could be redirected to education, infrastructure, and healthcare sector that deliver tangible benefit to citizens rather than symbolic satisfaction. Therefore, this motion is financially extravagant, administratively burdensome, and national counterproductive. Mr. Chairman, I will summarize my debate. I came before the House, gave an opening statement, gave the structure of my debate, widen the perimeter, debunk the baseless point made by the Prime Minister, present my three solid points. Mr. Chairman, I will conclude. The Parliament is not a cultural museum. It's not a place where our local language can be promoted. Our local language can be promoted elsewhere. We have our cultural programs and schools where local language can be promoted, not in the Parliament. I conclude.
Thank you very much, Madam Opposition Leader. Please do give the adjudication panel a few moments to tally their grades, and then we'll half of the debate.
Nabankola dia mola nyomuto ninkambe si jama kan kiling alfala duambe kambe ngamuta nyopinga tako kambi ambi ngakambe jamuta ngajana mutako nyata tabangu sembe gomnambe kilinga sirani mandinko rambe anim fulo badi jula anin sarawul kasinku imanjaku walinkaro ninkol balandoli amu rambe Mbe mukilinati Gambia amumbele tati Anganyo mutanganyo yaya Nganyo fasa kakali dunyola Unity symbol Sanawani all we know is love I say one for all United we stand, divided we fall Mungana bana kaponi na warati nako Hangana mukonda da kabili ngota munyana no Ako zamunyana no Ako mera mukeke na lo Bane makabo kumbane di bane ka hubane apo Suna nyikane imera mukenya na debedi debedu Onge muhosu nyekanedi Kitamane di Osuna kahia kherenkendi Babangali Kewana hane La nyomuto ninkambe si jama kan kiling alfala duambe kambe mutanyo pira tako kambi ambi ngakambe jamuta ngajana mutako nyata tabangu sembe gonna mbe kilinga sirani mandinko rambe anim fulur badi jula anin sarawul kasinku imanja walinkaro ninko balantoni amu rambe nare Mimi fame, mimi ngare. Sengoni ko tumwine foraile, chinendira jode kumatum wakile. Lundore wa machacha, mare wa nana. Sengoni ko tumwala yare yeso. Gambia, koledi tuwana pe. Chinendira jode yare yeso. Bukano, kibare jalo janten, elwe, kakude, mani wun kanduka beten, ekine, kabekel, ajabunga jalo jamuteng, wale no manurekel, usafora tenten, Gambia yole la mesu, manu teba manjum, nabuboka panjum, kebo duga ngalega besur, alifan kunyila kone, oye safi anka safi sume, nabankola diya mola nyomuto ninkambe, si jamaka ngalfala
Thank you. The one, yeah. So we are now going to move to the second and final half of the debate. So if the Deputy Prime Minister is set, we are ready to hear from him. And please don't forget to state your name and the state you are representing.
Am I visible at double place? Okay.
Yes,
My name
yes,
is.
you are.
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Abdurrahman Fatih, and I'm representing Haryana State. Okay, I can start now, right? Okay, Honorable Speaker, distinguished guests, distinguished members of the House, ladies and gentlemen, I rise today not just as the Deputy Prime Minister of this Honorable House, but as a proud Gambian who believes that a government that cannot be understood by its people cannot truly serve its people. Honorable Speaker, allow me to give you the structure of my debate. First, I will start by introducing the motion to the House. I will debunk the basis point put forward by the opposition bench. I'm going to strengthen the points of the Prime Minister. I'm also going to give my own points backed by facts and statistics. Then I will accept only one POI summarize, after which I shall conclude. Honorable Speaker, let me remind the House of the motion first. This House will introduce the use of local language in Parliament. Honorable Speaker, moving on to debunk the points of the opposition bench. So I was really surprised, like the weak arguments that the opposition bench bring. You are given 48 hours and you cannot bring solid arguments in this honorable house. So first, the honorable opposition leader made mention that national, introducing local languages is going to threaten our national unity. Hi, what kind of argument is this? What kind of argument is this? So you want to tell us, the honorable speaker, the opposition leader wants us to believe that unity is only achieved through uniformity in language. So meaning that for us to be united, we must speak one language. That is the colonial language, which is true, which is false. And honorable speaker, in fact, true unity is not achieved by exclusion of our local languages in our important state affairs, but it is achieved through mutual respect, which inclusion fosters. Honorable speaker, let's take India and South Africa as an example. There is many languages in their parliament, but still they are united. The opposition leader also made mention of financial constraints. But honorable speaker, this is not introducing local languages in our parliament is an investment in our democracy. It's not a cost. Like take for example GRTS, QTV, and other TVs. They already broadcast news in our Mandinka, Wolof, and other local languages. So this shows that translation infrastructure already exists. So we just need the political will. Now moving on, the opposition leader also made mention of legal clarity. Honorable Speaker, the Prime Minister, may I remind the opposition leader that we are in the 21st century. This is not the 18th century. So we are in a world of technology. We have technology that can do all the work for us. So that point is very, very weak and it does not stand. Now moving on to strengthen the points of the Honorable Prime Minister. First is strengthening democracy and representation. Honorable, as the Prime Minister already said, democracy is representation, and representation begins with language. Honorable Speaker, Parliament is the voice of the people, but how can it truly represent the people if it speaks in a language many of the citizens do not understand? Now, second point is that preserving cultural identity and dignity. Honorable Speaker, language is the soul of culture. Language is the soul of culture, and when we erase local languages in our national institutions like Parliament, we are slowly erasing our identity. Honorable Speaker, in fact, a UNESCO 2022 report shows that 40% of the world's languages are endangered, and mostly African languages. So this means that if we do not use our local languages in our state affairs like the Parliament, then we are going to accelerate their death. Moving on to the third point, enhancing public understanding and accountability. Honorable Speaker, statistical evidence consistently demonstrates that people understand conversation or communications more in their mother tongue. So, Honorable Speaker, introducing local languages in our parliament is going to make sure that the MPs express themselves clearly, and also people can understand policies clearly, and also they can hold their representatives accountable. Now, Honorable Speaker, moving on to my own points. Point number one is fulfilling constitutional and human rights obligation. Honorable Speaker, let me remind this House that Section 32 of the Gambia's 1997 Constitution states it very clear. It said that the state shall promote the cultures of the Gambia. And also Section 25 of the same Constitution made it very explicitly prohibits discrimination on the basis of language, among others. So, Honorable Speaker, denying access to citizens, denying citizens access to parliamentary proceedings in their own language is a form of indirect discrimination. Also, if you look at the Article 27 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it states that everyone is free to choose. Everyone is free to practice their cultures in their community freely. So, Honorable Speaker, by introducing local languages in our parliament, we are fulfilling a our human rights commitment. Honorable Speaker, moving on to my and participation. Honorable Speaker, democracy fails when people cannot understand their own parliament. In fact, let me give you statistics. According to Afrobarometer 2023 survey, only 36% of Gambians feel informed about their parliament, about parliament's work, which is actually true, and this is a big gap. And this gap can be filled by introducing Okay, well, let me finish and I will let you go. This gap can be filled by introducing in local languages in our parliament so that it will improve the civic understanding and also participation. You can comment, please.
Can you tell this honorable house how can changing parliamentary language help the illiterate when literacy itself, not language, is the real barrier for understanding governance?
You know, your question, maybe you are not familiar with the Gambia. People of the Gambia, they understand local language, and you don't have to be illiterate to understand the law. When the law is explained in your mother tongue, you are going to explain it. You are going to understand them. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand the laws of the country. When the law is explained in your own language, then you are going to understand it. Now, Honorable Speaker, moving on to the summary of my debate, I came before this honorable house. I reminded the House of the motion, and I also debunked the basis point put forward by the opposition leader. I strengthened the points of the Honorable Prime Minister, which were strengthening democracy and representation, preserving cultural identity and dignity, also enhancing public understanding and accountability. I also gave my own points, which were fulfilling constitutional obligation and human rights obligation, and also strengthening civic education and civic education and participation. So I summarize, I accepted one POI, and I hereby conclude. Honorable Speaker, this motion is not about eliminating English. It's about including every Gambian. Let the Parliament of the Gambia speak the language of its people, so that our democracy will not be for a few, but for all. So I urge you all to vote for the motion and to stand for the motion. Thank you all for your kind attention. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Prime Minister. Please give us a few moments to tally our grades and have a small discussion. Then we'll get back and hear from the final speaker for this debate.
God bless the Gambia. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Ekijamala nyuka arakisan. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Nyununela so say popula. Sarahule all kuola jola. Kodi Gambia, our homeland. Sulu de kala, nyaka boga. Keep the environment clean, lula warla. Twerking trust on the street, lilu nyaula. Like you wanna get together, lilu rolla. Who can stand it? Sit back, eat the yoni nola. Who said it's better me? Regu bimla, corruption to obviously public dishonor. Qualification, you must. I'm like, Japan, say no to pop with embassy member visa. Do feelings that they can only get for one la. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Needed so can you de cool. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Ranasland Holly, anyone take Yama. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Niki Jamala, you fucker out of your son. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Because the Limal Poro, who are Benson. Every tired of the public smoking and the environment that you polluting. Do you have a food that make it sick causing harmful side effects? Second hand smoking causes heart cancer that make it your liver. So this the truth take a serious measure because things like this we can't tolerate. Public transport like another cigarette. You look like yo, you must be insane. Let's walk past one to one the nation building. Feel a better Gambia together we celebrate. Confidence that they call a league for one la. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Ramasland Holly, anyone take Yama. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Ekijamala nyukoka Alajasan. Hey, God bless the Gambia. Boy, I get right both music and sport. Some in office, some doing skill work. Teenage pregnancy, I let you bury the but silent reply now. Tell me what that for you everything sit up before me. White price, I guess on prayer with me between us stop. The boss many school drop out. I wonder what is the boss. Yeah, come to having a book of Alisa people. Students are the Kalali, get Kawana.
So thank you very much. Before we move ahead, is the Prime Minister here with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Quick question. You when in the beginning of your submission, you gave a perimeter. I think there's an educator that is who was struggling to catch what we are saying. Could you please say what your perimeter was before you started your submission?
Yeah, my perimeter was that we are going to
Mm-hmm.
focus on elevating our local languages to stand alongside with the colonial language. And we don't aim at eliminating English, but we just aim, what our aim is to ensure that our local languages are also inclusive alongside the English.
Okay then. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So we are going to move on to the final speaker for the debate. If the deputy opposition leader is ready, we would like to please hear from you.
Am I audible and visible, please?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, before starting, my name is Momodu Bailobari, representing Andhra Pradesh. Can I start? Okay. They speak of local languages as if words alone can build a nation. They promise inclusion, pride, and culture. But make no mistake, without clarity and unity, words become walls, not bridges. Our stand is clear, Mr. Speaker. We judge this motion by its impact on effective governance, parliamentary accountability, and the people's voice. Mr. Speaker, allow me to give you the structure of my debate. I will first start by debunking the government claims. I will strengthen my opposition leader's point. I will give my own points. I will give an alternative. I will accept just one POI. I will summarize. I will then conclude. Mr. Speaker, before debunking their point, they made mention of how this will be implemented, how this motion will be implemented. But this is only feasible on paper, not on reality. Thankfully, my opposition leader made mention of that in her third point, how this is only feasible on paper. So, Mr. Speaker, onto their first point, that this motion promotes inclusivity. I mean, in reality, it creates linguistic exclusion. Not all parliamentarians or staff understand all local languages. True inclusivity requires clarity, not multiplicity, and accessibility for all, not just symbolic gestures. Inclusivity without understanding is like a door open to a room no one can enter. Mr. Speaker, onto their second point, that it enhances citizen participation. Participation is about information access, not parliamentary language. Citizens can engage with their representatives through translated sessions or digital broadcasts without disrupting parliamentary flow. I mean, participation is meaningful only when citizens can follow the conversation, not guess the conversation. Mr. Speaker, onto their last point, it will help, illiterate understand parliament. Literacy is required to comprehend any legal or parliamentary text. Therefore, education programs are a better solution than changing the official language. Teaching a man to read builds a nation. Translating words builds only confusion, Mr. Speaker. This will then take me to strengthen my opposition leader's point. On her first point, on national unity. Parliament is the nation's voice, and multiple languages risk dividing it. The 2022 Global Peace Index confirms that nations with one unifying official language score 15% higher cohesion than those fractured by multiple. Okay, come on.
So, are you trying to tell this house that intelligence is based on someone being educated? You were talking about literacy here. So, can you please make that clear?
That is what you people claim, but we gave a better alternative. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To continue strengthening my opposition leader's point, Parliament is the nation's voice, and multiple languages risk dividing it. According to the Global Peace Index, it confirms that nations with one unifying official language score 15% higher cohesion than those fractured by multiple competing official languages. So a parliament divided by language cannot speak one national voice. Mr. Speaker, onto her second point, on legal clarity. Laws requires precision, and multiple languages increases mistranslation risks. A 2021 legal study found that in multilingual nations, a staggering 30% of all constitutional challenges stem directly from contradiction between different versions of the same law. So when the law speaks in many tongues, justice fades. That is the hard fact. Mr. Speaker, onto her last point on financial burden. She revealed the EU's 350 million euros cost. Let's contextualize this and take the Gambia for example. According to our own ministry, that this sum is sufficient enough to vaccinate our entire child population for a decade. This motion actually forces us to choose between, wards and welfare, a choice that any responsible government will find easy to make. Mr. Speaker, this will then take me to my point. My first point will be based on communication barrier. Parliamentary functions through timely decision, clear dialogue, and coordinated debate, introducing multiple local languages will create a constant demand for translation, repetition, clarification, causing hours of delays for even simple debates. In 2021, according to the World Parliamentary Association, multilingual parliaments spend 40 to 60% more time per session due to interruption and clarification processes. So beyond time loss, these barriers risk mixed communication, misunderstanding of policy intent, and most importantly, slower response to national emergency. For example, urgent bills or crisis legislation may be delayed waiting for accurate translation. As the African proverbs reminds us, when too many people speak, the message gets lost. In the same way, when too many languages speak in parliament, governance itself gets lost and decision-making falters. A parliament that cannot understand itself is a parliament that cannot lead a nation. It's the hard fact. Mr. Speaker, onto my second point, on accountability loss in translation. The lifeblood of democracy is the ability to hold ministers accountable. Introducing multiple languages and relying on interpretation creates a shield of deniability. In 2022, the African Governance Initiative found that in parliament heavily dependent on translation, direct unscripted cross-examination decreased by over 70% as members fear misrepresentation. Ministers could hide behind that was a translator's error, eroding transparency and the very essence of accountable governance. Furthermore, this undermines citizens' confidence in parliamentary and oversight and weaken democratic checks and balance. In modern democracies, accountability thrives on precision, and precision depends on shared understanding. In simpler terms, Mr. Speaker, when words must pass through interpreters, politicians can dodge questions, and parliament loses its power to scrutinize effectively. Moving on to my last point, governance practicality. While the motion appealed to emotions and cultural pride, governance requires practicality and efficiency. The The 2022 UN Development Report notes that countries with a single or common working language in governance operate 20% more efficiently in policy implementation and cross-ministry coordination. So introducing dozens or hundreds of languages will complicate communication, slow legislation, increase errors in official documents, and most importantly, risk administrative analysis. It will also divert critical human resources, translation, and interpretation rather than decision making. As the proverb warns us, you cannot tie a bundle with one hand. It makes no sense. So governance must be coordinated, focused, and unified under one working language. Governance must speak the language of results, not sentiment. And without a doubt, clarity and efficiency are non-negotiable for a nation's progress. Mr. Speaker, I will then move on to give an alternative. We on the opposition bench, this is our alternative: to promote local languages through cultural programs, community events, and official publication in non-legislative settings like schools and universities and so on. And media outlets can become the centers of language preservation and celebration, leaving the parliament free to govern effectively. Mr. Speaker, I will then summarize. I started by debunking the government claims. I strengthened my opposition leader's point. Her points were national unity, legal clarity, and a financial burden. I gave my own point. My first point was communication barrier, accountability loss in translation, and the last one was governance in practicality. I gave an alternative. I accepted the P1. Mr. Speaker, I will then conclude. Honorable members, our nation's strength lies not on how many languages we speak, but how well we understand each other. I urge this motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, final speaker. Please give the adjudication panel a few moments. I think this even brings us to the end of the debate. So we're going to let the agenda move ahead, and while the adjudication panel just tallies the grades that they have. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Mbai. Yes, I believe this house was already on fire, from the government bench to the oppositions, and then the comment sessions as well, the supporters, the fans. We see you all. No one's left behind. So, following our agenda, now amidst us again, we have a vibrant, young, and talented lady in our midst. GAM-IND, as known for skillful and creative individuals who are always at the top. Ladies and gentlemen, in our midst, we have a science student, yet a poet. Born in the vibrant city of Serekunda, the Gambia, Mariama has consistently demonstrated academic excellence throughout her journey. She laid the foundation at 1C Basic Cycle School, where she excelled in her nursery, primary, and upper basic education. Her academic prowess earned her a spot at Charles Jow Memorial Academy, where she successfully completed her senior secondary education. Miss Mariama Chor, currently pursuing a Bachelor of Science honors degree in microbiology at the Noida International University, India. Mariama Chor is poised to make a meaningful impact. In her final year of study, she has developed a profound interest in scientific research, laboratory work, and the study of microorganisms and their applications in health and the environment. Throughout her Mariama has exemplified dedication, hard work, and a passion for learning, qualities that will undoubtedly shape her future endeavors. With a strong foundation in microbiology, she aspires to contribute significantly to public health and scientific advancement, both in the Gambia and India. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Miss Mariama Chor, a promising young scientist with a bright future ahead, who equally couples her scientific work with poetry. Miss Chor, the entire Gambian family awaits your peace.
Good evening, everybody. As you all know, I am Mariama Chor. I am here to read a poem entitled Poverty. So here it goes. Jok suba teel laajte yaay ndewoo yaay ne la toogal xaar baay toog xaar baay ba ngoon baay ñëw nga ne ko na baay ana ndew bi mu ne la yàlla baax na. See, I tell you something. Poverty is a cause for human society. It prevails there where the injustices are. It exclaims where there is illiteracy. Poverty is a purely man-made, so it has to be eradicated from its root. The society afflicted with poverty is reprehensible in the human society. Corruption is a source of poverty. Only a fairer society can be set free from all kind of poverty, where the people are dumbed and discounted. Poverty exists there. Poverty shows how my image of past rule a country. Poverty is a reason for all philosophical end. Kon boog nañ xam nañ ñun ñooy ndaw réew mi te taxaw suñ réew mi. Thank you.
Very short, precise, and educative point or piece at the same point. That's great, Maria Mature. To start with your opening paragraph, I guess you said, Talk subatel lajai anandeo. Ya inala lajal bai nala yala bahna. Yala bahna, surely. That was a very good one, Maria Mature. As His Excellency Mr. Jaji would say, one C products are always the best, and yet you have proven us to that saying. So we move, and now get ready to be inspired. For the Association of Gambian Students in India proudly presents an empowering online webinar titled Inspiring the Next Generation of Gambian Innovators, Exploring Opportunities in STEM Education. Join our brilliant guest speakers who are Mr. Usman Sise, who is a Flight Operations Officer, and Tuba Murray, a data scientist, as they share insights, motivation, and pathways to success in the world of STEM. Don't miss it. Be right there. Date is on the 25th October 2025. Time from 2000 hours IST and 14:30 hours GMT. Venue Google Meet. And our hosts are Modul Lamin Jeng, a final year aeronautical engineering student, and co-host Mr. Idris Assar, who is a third year computer science and engineering student. Don't miss this chance to fuel your innovation journey, for the future starts right here. Brought to you by the Education Ministry of the Ninth Executive Council of the Association of Gambian Students in India. Without wasting much more time, now I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Sajo A.K. Jaju for the presentation of awards. Mr. President, if you are here with us, you may kindly have the floor and present the awards. Oh, sorry, my bad. Before then, that was an oversight. Don't mind me, I'm without my lens, so I cannot see very well. So yes, before then, we would now welcome contributions on the concluded debate. Now it's time for contribution. You may all share in your contributions on this debate which we have just concluded. The floor is open and all contributions are welcome. It was a well-debated debate session, I believe, and there are many points for us to explore. Now the floor is open. Yes, Gambian students in India. I want to believe that is the VP. You may kindly have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. SG. Yeah, assalamu alaikum to all the members present here. Yeah, to be honest, I will not take much time because I guess other people will want to give their contributions too. But am I audible, Mr. SG?
Yes, surely you are, please, sir.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, so regarding the debate, it was really a bottle of ideas to be honest. Yeah, because this is really a thought-provoking topic to be honest. Yeah, so I guess the introduction of the language, local language, is very important, in our parliament because if you are a frequent viewer of the parliaments, like when they are having their debates or when they are debating over a constitution or something, you will see that most of them, especially the people who are representing like the provinces and all of those areas, you will realize that most of them find it difficult, to express themselves in English. Though, yeah, they speak the English and you will understand, okay, this is what they are trying to say or this is what they mean. But for them to express themselves well, maybe to, for people to understand better, it will be best, if they can speak the local languages, so that they can express themselves in the best way or in the highest way. Yeah, but I didn't hear the debaters mention, something like, okay, for example, some of them said, yeah, most not all know the local language. Yeah, that's true because in the Gambia, if people know the local language, most of them they might know three to four, but to know all the local languages is very difficult. But I'm so sad that they didn't mention my field. Technology is here. People are using translators now. We are in an advanced world now. Someone should have mentioned that. Okay, we can use translators. These mics that you can use, and if you say something, it might be translated and all of that sort. So technology is evolving. I guess we should adapt to it as how it is going. So that would be a great idea. If the language is supposed to be introduced to our Gambian parliament, we can have that technology where if a speaker speaks a different national language, it might be interpreted to English or it might be interpreted to another local languages and all of that sort. Yeah, so I'll just keep it short here. That was really a great topic, and the debaters, I guess, did justice to it. Yeah, so thank you very much, Mr. SG. Thank you.
Thank you for those points, His Excellency. And now I would like to invite again His Excellency, Mr. Sajo Ikejaju, to kindly share with us his ideas on the concluded debate. Mr. President, you may kindly have the floor.
Thank you so very much, Abo SG. Am I audible? May I confirm
Yes,
my audibility?
yes, yes, you're audible, please.
Okay, okay. So thank you very much. Just as I said at the beginning, when I was giving my opening remarks, I suppose this night was supposed to be, of course, a thrilling encounter. How do I put it? Clash of words. And honestly speaking, I suppose that was already done. So say kudos to the debaters for doing what was expected of them. So that this is not one of those debates that one can easily predict the winning state. However, from the impeccable judges or the adjudication next, I'm pretty much sure that they'll do the needful as far as the state is concerned. That aside, the motion that is being debated reads this House will, what was the motion again? I can't remember the exact words of it anyway. But then it has to do with local languages being spoken in our National Assembly. It says this House will introduce the use of local language in Parliament. So looking at the motion, speaking from experience, I had debated a motion of this sort many a time, maybe in a different footing or in a different language, but it all was down to the same thing. Because I debated a motion wherein it states this House believes that National Assembly proceedings should be done in our national languages. So I suppose when we say national languages, local languages, indigenous languages, they all water down to the same thing. That is the language that is being spoken within our country. And I love the fact that, as far as this motion is concerned, we believe most of the debaters would have come up with a policy implementation, especially on the basis that the VP made mention of that when it comes to the side of technology, you have these translators here and there. If I were to debate on this motion or debates that I had with regards to said motion, that was one of my key, like alternatives that I'd give to the House. That is, like when you go to the national, the UN National Assembly, when you go to the African Union, or most of these assemblies, usually what they have is you have these translators that will be translated to individuals because those that you meet in those houses, first, most of them come from different backgrounds. Some would come from Francophony, some Anglophony, you have some from Lusophony, and at the end of the day, the only thing that can unify most of them is the language that has been spoken, and it's the part of the translation that we would have here and there. So I suppose that could have been a very good thing in ensuring that like the debaters use as a yardstick. And again, also like if we talk about indigenous languages or local languages, what are the languages? What is our perimeter centered on as a how? Like we're talking about local language, but local language of which specific country? If we are able to talk about a particular country, what are the these things, how do you call it again? The languages that have been spoken there, what are the tribes? Because in the Gambia, when we refer to language in one way or the other, it brings forth the issue of tribe. So I was anticipating to seeing maybe the opposite side debated that okay, well, when you talk about okay, implementation policies, doing those other things, how well are you that they can be implemented? Because at the end of the day, it's one thing to come up with a policy, but it's another thing to have it implemented to the latter. So you saying, okay, you're going to devise those technology means how best do you think that can fit in our system when we don't even have maybe correct internet connectivity, when we don't have maybe let's say data to some extent. So all those things could have been a point. And I was expecting one point from the opposition, that is tribalism, because anytime that this issue of this topic comes into play, one of the first things that I anticipate is tribalism, because in one way or the other, the opposition might claim that okay, it could lead to tribalism. So I was expecting when when they were doing some pre-reportals to bring forth the issue of tribalism. But then, all in all, I suppose it was a very good debate because many would say, okay, if you're saying we should adopt this language, how about the other people? How would they see themselves? Things like that. All those are points that one can bring forth. But I'm not pretty sure I have heard of such. All I had was the issue of dominance. And I believe both sides of the L had done their assignment well because we had a lot of statistics, a lot of data was giving. And I suppose that's the purpose of debate. And as debaters would always say, and as per the slogan of the UTGDA, let's keep on debating, for it is only in debates we shall be had. I would not want to bore you much. Let me stop now, and because the of hand that are still up, they can also weigh in their opinions or ideas. Thank you very much. SG, back to you.
Thank you so much, His Excellency. Those were very brilliant, should I say, feedbacks or good points rather. Yes. Next, I believe Mr. Cisse, Mr. Lamin Cisse. Yes, you may kindly have the floor.
Yes, thank you. I think, am I audible now again?
Yes, you are very
Thank you. Very valid points were raised by both the parties. And just to say a few, I am also one of those that believe that for a person to properly introduce or to properly express himself, to put his point across to where he wanted to lay, is when he's speaking the language that he or she understands and can speak better. And again, Gambia is a country where we have a huge number of people that do not understand English. People can speak it, but you wouldn't know that until you go out of this country and you hear people talking. Then you will know Gambia, our local languages are speaking more among ourselves. And you tend to understand that for people to speak English, or you don't find a lot of people speak in English, so people wouldn't be able to understand each other. That's why sometimes, or most of the time, when certain and is spoken in English or written in English, a lot of people will interpret it differently because of our level of understanding. So I believe to have our local languages empowered within our, official territories is very important. So the debaters today, you are speaking, you are putting your point, you want your point to be understood. Tomorrow, who knows where you're going to be when you are there, or if you are opportune, in one way or the other, make sure you advocate for what you are, trying to empower today. So thank you. That's my point.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cisse, for those valid points. They are well appreciated. Yes, Miss Hour, if you're still around, your hand was up at some point. Miss Hour, are you here with us? Yes.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I would like to add my voice in support of the opposition bench. I believe introducing local languages in parliament, though it sounds inclusive, it could actually create more confusion than connection. And also take the Gambia, for example. We have several local languages. Mandinka, we have Olof, we have Fulajola, and others. Now imagine if every member of parliament decide to speak their own language, it will be difficult to follow the discussions, and translation will take so much time. By the time one idea is explained in 3 or 4 different languages, the debate will lose its flow and energy. And even here in India, where dozens of major languages are and hundreds of dialects, using all of them in parliament will make communication almost impossible. And a national parliament needs 1 or 2 working languages that everyone understands, so that decisions can be made efficiently and fairly. So while I understand the intention behind using local languages to make people feel represented and included, I think that can be achieved in other ways, like using local languages in regional assemblies, you have education or community meetings. But for national level discussions, unity and clarity will come first. So that is why I stand with the opposition bench. Using local languages in parliament may sound beautiful in theory, but in practice it could divide more than it unites. Thank you.
Thank you for those powerful points, Miss Awa. That was a very good one. Yes, Mr. Yes, we want to acknowledge the presence of the alumni members right here present. Yes, from Mr. Cisse down to Mo, and all the alumni members here. We appreciate your time to come back and guide and see us through as we progress with what you've started. Thank you so much, and we definitely honor your presence. Yes, so Mr. Mafuji Sise, your hand was up.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Mo, I'll
Um,
be coming to you right next, please, and then Mr. Ahmadu. Yes, Mr. Sise, you may proceed.
yes, thank you. Thank you for giving me the floor. Well, I am very new here. I think today is my first time to participate in such. But anyway, I'm here. Um, I saw some few people that I know, like Aisedu Jada and Lavin Sise, the founding father. He was my he was my classmate during high school time. But nonetheless, the debaters, both the opposition and their points are all on points. But I would like to understand some areas. That is actually when you talk about the assembly sittings, there are a lot of assembly sittings. If are we to accept the local languages in the general assembly, or the two, because the committee meetings, that is most of the time that is not this thing accessible by the public. Majority of the public, the citizens don't even bother to attend those meetings. And the general flow, if that is feasible, because one, um, Gambia, we have one issue. The big issue is none of our local languages can be written, in terms of, you cannot, they don't have any alphabets that you can use to write, or for people for easier communications. So now what will be an issue is, if these local languages are accepted in the General Assembly, what will happen is a lot of translations here and there, then before you know it, majority of them will lose track. And how many of these people, the people who, majority of the National Assembly members, what is the minimum requirement for one to be a National Assembly member? So actually, the education also, it's very distinct. So I'm not sure if that is feasible. Well, for me, what is this thing is that what is feasible for me is, I think if we leave it the way we are, and then also on the General Assembly, like for instance, if we have something like to debate, that we can use those debate points on the last sessions to use local languages. I think that will be, and then these local languages, I think we use the most spoken ones. Maybe we can use 2 or 3 that can be acceptable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cisse, for joining us and as well sharing your inputs. We are indeed honored. Yes, Mr. Ibrahim Mbo, His Excellency. Oh, sorry, previous one.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Secretary. Greetings, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I would like to congratulate the ninth executive for successfully conducting this edition of the GAM Interstate Debate Championship. This is something that I really love to get close and the coordination and everything about it. I'm really, really proud of you all, and we never regret, leaving Gambian in your hands. So, coming to the topic, I believe this is an urgent matter that needs discussion because the purpose of communication is understanding. If this our representatives are going there, they themselves will be able to understand themselves. But there is a problem in Gambia. If you look at it, like if you are a keen follower of the president of most of our speakers are always quiet. Why? There are various reasons. Maybe they don't have something to say, they don't care about their constituencies whatsoever. But one of the main factors is what? Language barrier. Because this English is not our mother tongue, and people feel comfortable communicating in their mother tongues or in their language, in their own languages, than foreign languages. So I believe this is a factor that is really retarding us, that's as Gambians and as Africans. It's high time also, we take this step forward. Because if we all sit and say, we don't have the alphabet, we don't have the requirement, this, and this, we will never move forward. So it's high time, we take the risk. Let's face it. Like we want to introduce let's do what is necessary to do it. And I believe last time we even started this, survey to see which local languages to introduce and things like that. So I believe this is a good move. And in our National Assembly, things like that will be promoted so that people will feel comfortable to speak their mind. People will feel comfortable to represent their people to the best of their abilities. But if you just use this, English only, sometimes you make blunders. People, it will be on social media, people mocking you and things like that. At the end, even if not that person, decide to reserve themselves so that they will keep quiet, not representing their people, to protect their image from being criticized on social and things like that, which is not at the end, which is not going to benefit all of us at the end of the day because they are there, to debate on topics, make sure they agree, disagree, to come into terms. But if they just keep quiet, at the end of the day, it's not beneficial. But as Gambians, I believe there is one problem that we have. We have many local languages. And it's always a problem when we come to national issues to talk about these languages. I believe that's something that we have to work on with ourselves first. Because last time, even Mopsy, they have the same issue. They took one language, to make some initial survey and things like that. People were online, saying things that you don't even understand. These are just survey, or they are just, starting point to see how to go with things. But Gambia here is a problem. Sometimes, we ourselves, we are the problem of this country. Sometimes we have to be acceptance. We have to see things, from different view. But all of that, but most of us, sometimes the way we see things is really different. And for me, I am with the belief that, our national languages will be allowed, in the House of Parliament. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mbo. That was equally valid. Yes, Mr. Jalo, we may kindly invite you. And Mr. Jalo will be our last contributor for the night and would kindly suggest that we have you for 1 minute, 30 seconds as it's getting late and soon the judges will be back. Yes, Mr. Jalo.
Thank you, Mr. SD, for inviting me. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, please.
Thank you. Probably, I think, as most of the previous speakers have said, this is an important topic, and it is urgent that we discuss this as a country. I think the debaters, most of them did justice, all of them did justice to the topic, but there are certain things they left out, probably. I think by looking at the topic and then what they're discussing about implementing local language as the procedure in Parliament is something that is commendable. But one thing we need to know also is how fruitful will that be? Because if we are using a language that you can't read, you can't write in, and the Parliament, how long do you think that will go? suggesting translators and all those things. How effective will that be? So I think from my own stand, the best thing we can do is to come up with a uniform language. We choose one language out of the languages or two that we will put it in a long-term form. We use the language, we implement it in school. Let's learn and know how to read and write in the language. In the long run, we put it as an official language. So eventually, everybody will be able to read, write, and understand the language. Then eventually, as it becomes an official language, automatically use it in parliament. That it will not bring division as others may suggest, tribalism as others may suggest, or difference about translation, take time, misunderstandings, and all those things. So I think the best form to implement this kind of policy effectively is for us to make it a long-term goal. Have the language, one or two, then learn how to read and write in that language. As we've seen in the continent we are Asia here, all these countries they have languages, their language they can read and write in them. So they don't have confusion of how to translate this language into the other language because they can read and write in them. There's no need for them to translate. So they automatically read and write whatsoever they say in that language. So I think the best way we will able to implement such policy is for us to able to use the language itself, not thinking of how to translate it into the other language. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jallo, for that. Now, without wasting much time, His Excellency, President of the Ninth Executive Council, Mr. Sajo A.K. Jaju, to do the presentation of awards. Mr. President, if you're here with us, you may kindly have the floor. Mr. President, are you here with us, please? Now is the presentation of certificates and awards. This should be done by the president. I believe he had network issues, yes, and now he's here with us. Mr. Jaju, you may kindly.
Thank you very much. I was a bit occupied. I think that is why I could not contribute. However, thank you very much. I think before we will get to the announcement of the results or the analysis of the just concluded debates, it will be imperative to have the certificates awarded to the various participants, that is the people that participated from the first round or the first floor up to now. So the Deputy Education Minister or the able VP, if you can please share your screen while we do the presentation for those people. And then before I also proceed, we would like because there's going to be an award for the best debater and the promising debater. So for the best debater award, we would want it to be presented by the first guest speaker, who is Mr. Lamin Waisise, and the one for the most promising debater, we would want it to be presented by Rohiatu, our very own mom, Madam Rohiatu Diba. And then for the certificate we will be presenting to the UTGDA, we would want my own predecessor, who is His Excellency Ibrahim Bo, to do the presentation of those ones. So, Mr. VP or Deputy Education, if you're with us, may you please start the sharing? Okay, so the first certificate that we have here will be presented to Sajo N. Jaju, a participant from the state of Andhra Pradesh. Congratulations, Mr. Jaju, for participating. The second certificate will be presented goes to Ms. Tira Kamara from the state of Andhra Pradesh. I believe we've seen her debated here. The next certificate would go to Momodu Bailo Bari, also a participant from the state of Andhra Pradesh. Congratulations. Another certificate will be presented to Ms. Awasonko from the vibrant state of Rajasthan. Congratulations, Ma. And another certificate will be presented to Mr. Suleiman Boop from the state of Assam. Congratulations, Mr. Suleiman. Um, the next certificate is presented to another participant from the state of Assam by the name Pamalik Site. Congratulations, Pamalik. We move on to presenting the certificates to the state of Madhya Pradesh. The first one, Demba Kamara from the state of Madhya Pradesh. Congratulations. And the second certificate is presented to Madi Trawale from the state of Madhya Pradesh. Congratulations, sir. We move on to the state of Delhi. Of course, the steady voice. The fourth certificate will be presented to Momodu Ali Ujalo. Congratulations, sir, for ensuring that we have this year's competition. The next is presented to Usman Ture of the state of Delhi. Congratulations, sir. The next on the list is actually the state of Punjab. And congratulations to Aida Balde for representing the state of, Punjab for the second time. The next certificate is presented to Fatumata Fati of the state of Punjab. The second participant that represented them. So we move. The next certificate is presented to, may you please move. The next certificate is presented to the state of Maharashtra by the name Ahmad Vijay. Thank you very much for representing the state of Maharashtra. And then to Yajare Sane, another participant for the state of Maharashtra. Congratulations. The next certificate is presented to the finalists of today. One, Maimuna Job. Congratulations, Maimuna, for coming this far. And then to Abdurrahman Fati, congratulations for representing the state of Haryana in this year's edition. It means a lot. Then we move to the mighty state of Gujarat. First, Bijalo from the mighty state of Gujarat. Congratulations. The next is supposed to be Basiru K. Jame from the state of Gujarat, mighty state of Gujarat. Congratulations for coming this far in this year's edition of the Gambian Interstate Debate Championship. So I believe that does it for the presentation of certificates to the various individuals. So as a council, this is how we operate. And as far as participations are concerned, we encourage all and sundry to participate in Gambian events, especially debates and so on, because we never know where debates can land us into. Every great invention, every great speeches that we would see, or inventions in particular, comes from these debates, because we would have to sit on a round table to discuss, okay, this is what we think is right, this is what we think is not right. We put this, we move this part, and then you then have your powerful innovation here and there. So that aside, again, the certificates will be officially presented to these participants after being signed by myself as the president and the Gambian ambassador to India, who is His Excellency Mr. Mustafa Jawara, at the Gambia's 61st independence anniversary. Very soon, the venue for that will be disclosed to our membership, and we pray and hoping to seeing all of you there, in fact, debating on physical grounds. So with that, may you please share the screen again, and I will call on the president of the EVE Executive Council, Mr. Ibrahim Ambo, to present these certificates to UTGDA, that is the University of the Gambia Debate Association. So maybe the screen, please. Mr. President, you are honored to present these certificates to the UTGDA.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. President. I believe, this is a great, like let me say, I'm just grateful for this. Well, I believe last year was the first time us having that collaboration with them. So being here today, also witnessing the debate being, being agitated by them, and also, being honored to give out the awards, to them. It's a pleasure. I'm really grateful for that. So the first award we have here will be going to no other than Al Gasimba, who is currently, I believe, the president of the UTGDA, a colleague or a comrade, and also a mate, done in Nusrat. So the second one here will be going to my, you see, DA, is part of us. As you can see, this is Janaba Jamige, who was my deputy head girl when I was a deputy head boy in Nusrat Senior Secondary School. Thank you so very much, Madam Jamige, for your great work. So the next award here goes to Fatou Mboj. Thank you, Madam Mboj, for your great job done. And as you know, all know, it's not easy, being in the Gambia and sacrificing your time, energy, and resources to be here. Those in India, they can just have internet easily. But for us here, we know how costly it is, and you people are sacrificing it, for the association. We really appreciate that. And the next award here goes to our president. Let me say, our president, my president, and the president of everyone. And, the favorite educator of most of the GAM-IND members, who is no other than Mamadou Bite. He has been with us, since far too long. He adjudicated, the interstate debate and also the GAM Jasper debate championship. He was there with us. Thank you so very much, Mr. Bite. So the next award here goes to Mr. Ba. Thank you, Mr. Ba, for your service. We really appreciate it. Yes, is that all? All right. The next one here goes to our brother who has always been with us, that is Musa Tamba. Thank you so very much for adjudicating this debate here. Thank you so very much, Mr. Tamba. Yes. So that's it. And to the UTGDA, thank you so very much for your sacrifice and service. And to the GAM-IND, thank you so very much for the honor. Good again, Jeff.
His Excellency, just a little bit. We have an award for them. We would like to present for the
Okay,
whole
you have an award for the
award.
association itself.
Yes.
I believe I'm even having one of their awards that is not yet presented to them. As you all know, Gambia things are so crazy since I came back. I'm having one award for them at my house right now, but I will try by all means, to reach them, inshallah. Bilai. So can we have that award, please? Oh, but that's a momentum to appreciate, the efforts, sacrifices, of the UTGDA. As I said earlier, we all know it's not easy. We are in Gambia, where internet is very costly. Where time, there's no time. People are busy with other engagements, but you people make sure that you sacrifice your time, to come, come out here, to ensure that you serve your role to the best of your ability. So this award here is from GAM-IND to the entire UTGDA to appreciate your service and everything you have done, to ensure that this year's, GAM-IND Interstate Debate Championship is a success. Thank you so very much, Gerenge Jeff Ajarama. Thank you.
Thank you
Back to
very
you.
much, Mr. President. We're really honored having you in our midst. It shows that one thing that I've always said, the success of a successor or a predecessor is actually determined by the successor. And you always being by our side shows to us that you've not just passed the baton of leadership and left, but you are there monitoring all of our moves. And I believe that is something that we were quite grateful of. So we are supposed to have all the sets of awards that will be presented, but as of now, we cannot present those certificates unless upon having the announcement and of course the analysis of the results. Because one of the awards that we will present is actually the best debater, and that cannot be ascertained if the adjudication desk did not tell us. The other one would have to go to the most promising debater of GAM-IN for the 2025, administrative year or 2025-2026 administrative year. By the way, for this, once we reach to that part, I think I'd explain or give some history or context as far as the issue of the best debaters of Gambian are concerned. But anyway, the first best debater of Gambian was Kumba Esba from the state of Haryana. The second happens to be my very own able deputy education minister, who is Ms. Fatou Fai. And then this year, I don't know whether it's a lady that is going to have it, but then I bet you this time around, I want my men, to take up the mantle. Jokes aside, that will be presented later on. And for the most promising debater right now, the defending is my able deputy SG, who is David S. Giba. So we are looking forward to having another promising debater of Gamin, who will represent Gamin to higher heights, inshallah, and of course the nation. So please, the guest speakers who are Ms. Rohiyatu Diba, and of course, Mr. Lamin Y. Sise. May you please be out with us until the results are declared and you can have this other one presented. Meanwhile, we do the presentation of the winning team, inshallah. Thank you very much. So if the adjudication does not be set, the SG, you may take over, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, and the President of the Eight Executive Council. Thank you for for the presentation of certificates and awards. Now we would move on to the analysis and announcement of results as the adjudication decks are here to relieve us all from who would be crowned the winners of the night. Just a reminder that this time the mighty or ex-mighty Gujarat is no more here. This time it's mighty Haryana or Andhra. So to the adjudication decks, you may kindly have the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. I think before starting the analysis and the results announcement, I would first like to thank the association a lot for because I witnessed the award presenting part and I saw the awards for the DA and I'm deeply honored and I'm sure everyone else is here also at DA and it's very nice the way we are putting effort into fostering the bond between these two organizations, despite both of them not being exactly in the same place at the same time. So, the debate, obviously, I'm sure everyone who witnessed it could tell, was very heated. Both sides brought very good points. They defended their sides as expected, and inevitably there were definitely some loopholes that the adjudication panel has spotted out. But we're just going to we're just going to start off with like congratulating all of them because if you look at the marks and the presentations both sides have made, they defended their sides very well and for that we really thank them. So to start off with the Prime Minister, your debate was good. You first came and gave a perimeter, and I think and one of the educators was struggling to hear that, and we had to ask you again, which was now what you are trying to do is bring our local languages to the same caliber as English and I don't know if that part was made clear. Hopefully, make it as international as English is, but that's fine. And then you went ahead to give your points, which were democracy and representation to preserve our culture and identity. And there was also another part which talked about miscommunication and misleading news. I think my only issue was that I was hoping that your alternative, instead of it being three other languages, because then it was easy for the other side to come in and say, oh, once there are three languages, there are still going to be communication barriers. Like, three languages is not completely solving the problem of the communication barriers, which you brought up as your point as to why you're even bringing three languages at the same time. I think what could have been done is to not remove English from the board, which you did not say you were, but from the points that you were speaking on, it would mean that the other languages would now be more focused on than English language. And I think I would have wanted the alternative to be that okay, it's English is still going to be there, accompanied with other languages. That they're just like I think that would have been better instead of choosing three languages which are the prominent and with that the opposition could have easily, which they did not fail to mention. I don't know if they did, but from what I've heard, they didn't talk about how that in itself is still marginalizing people, because if you take only the three people that are the most in the country, the three tribes that are the highest in the country, then what of other people that do not belong to all of these three? They're still going to feel marginalized. And I think the whole point of your debate was to bring in an alternative that would stop marginalizing anyone from, because your statistics was that 47% are the ones that speak English. So when you do the math on that, you have 53% that do not understand. So when you still bring three languages, the marginalizing issue is still not completely eradicated. But actually, you took a POI, you answered the POI, and yes, I think that is all I have with you. Then to move on to the Deputy Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister gave a structure and talked about because, and then he gave rebuttals to the point that was made by the opposition leader, which I think was a very, very good one, I must admit. When she's because the opposition leader talked about the economic strain that it would take to have multiple languages being taught and all of those processes. But then you came in with giving a live example, which was the GRTS would not only deliver news in English, they also had TV times where they would give it in other languages as well, which I think was very, very good because then you didn't have to, you went directly at the point that she was making that if GRTS, a small organization in the country, could do it, then the parliament could also do something like that. And then you went ahead to strengthen the points that were made. And then you gave your own points, which were constitutional obligation and civic education. And yeah, and I'm not, I'm, you also took a PI, yes. And then to move on to the opposition leader, so the opposition leader also did quite well. You came in and widened the perimeter, which I was expected of you. Then you widened the perimeter and you gave rebuttals to what they were. And I think something that was good, which was good, was when you talked about how the parliament is not a national museum where you want to preserve culture, that there are other ways that we could preserve our languages and our identity, and it does not necessarily have to be the parliament that has to do that. It could be in other forms, which I think was very, very good. I was just hoping that you did not leave that as an open question mark. Okay, if you say we are not going to use the parliament as a way to preserve our culture and our identity, what are we going to use them? Obviously, as everyone there would say, okay, common sense is we could use a different way, but it's part of your job that if you say this is wrong, then what is right? Because it then leaves the question mark. If you're saying we must not use the parliament, then what else could we use besides the parliament? If the government side had brought that, it would have been good. And then you talked about translation issues, which was quite correct because even when you talk about GRCS, they don't do it in all the languages. They just do for a few, which was a good point, that it would take economic strains on the government if they want to accommodate all of those languages and make it open like that, right? And then you also took a POI, and then you talked about how it was going to be a delay in legislature, which was good. And then talked about national unity and that would divide the country, which is right, in the sense that we have so many languages that if we try to make all of them, it's going to do the opposite of where we're doing it. From different perspectives we could say it's right and it's wrong, but from your side it is right in the sense that it's going to drift people apart because now people, instead of seeing it for what the government is doing to say, okay, now we are giving all of you the value you deserve, people are now going to make it an issue of whose language is going to be on the top, whose language is going to be used the most. And so, in my opinion, I think that was good. So, to move on to the final speaker, that was the deputy opposition leader. Your debate was good. I liked the way you gave your deliberation. It was and I like that you were having a lot of contact with the screen. However, my only issue was that when you gave your points, when you talked about the communication barrier, which was your point, it felt as to me that the opposition leader had already made something like that, even though she didn't explicitly say that we are going to have communications barrier. But most of our points were very surrounded around that. So to me, it just felt like a repetition of what she was saying, and I would have hoped that you would try to find something different, especially that was your first point. So your first point being similar to what she had said, not exactly the same. I'm not even trying to say that they're the same. I'm just saying that they are too closely related, and there are so many things you could do with a motion like this. So that was it. And with the rebuttals, because you as the final speaker, in this debate we don't exactly have a whip because it's just two schools. So it's expected of you also to play the role of a whip, and because we are speaking after your opposition leader whose points were attacked. So it was your point in your rebuttals. The strengthening of your point was supposed to even be bigger than everyone else's, and I think, in my opinion, that was a bit lacking. That the rebuttals were a bit quick, like just say a few words, and it could be quick if it was strong, but they were not as strong as they were fast. That is what I'm just trying to explain. But overall, I liked the way you made your submission. In my opinion, I think you had a very, very good one. The eye contact, it was very engaging. So I think that is all I have. That is all I have for the recommendations that I think you guys could move on with for any future debates that you find yourselves in. And I think just keep debating. To all of you, this is not even specifically directed at anyone. To all of you, keep on debating, because it's through doing it a lot of times that you become better after each time that you do it. It's not about listening to videos online or listening to podcasts or watching people do it. I think one imperfect attempt is better than whatever self-help video about debate you're ever going to watch. One imperfect attempt, one inappropriate attempt at debating is going to take you far than anything. And that just goes for all of you that are listening to this, that are on the call, that you could listening is good, but I think it's also very important to someone take the initiative and talk about issues like these. So to move down to the results, I think across the adjudication panel, it was unanimous to a certain extent.
Mr.
Someone has
Mel, Mr.
yes.
Mel, yes, sorry. Before you
Mhm.
announce the result, kindly crown the best debater and then promising debater for me.
Oh, okay. Um, so from the results we have here, the best debater. I'm sorry, I did say you guys could say your names, but at some point I couldn't catch them. But I'm just going to. So for the best speaker for this debate goes to the opposition leader. Yes, it goes to the opposition leader. And the most promising debater also goes to the prime minister. And congratulations to the both of them. So to move on to, because the opposition leader, if I'm allowed, the opposition leader scored 80 points, but the prime minister scored 79.5. It was just an issue of POI basis. They all took POI, but it was heavily based on how well they both answered their POIs. That is where the mark difference was. Just to make that clarification. Now to go on to the results that were tallied. Overall, the government bench scored an cumulative point of 156.5 points. The government bench scored cumulatively, both of them combined, 156.5 points, and the opposition side cumulatively scored 153 points, which goes on to declare that the government bench are the winners of the debate, and they are crowned the winners of the championship.
Wow,
I think
wow.
yes, I think that is all.
Thank you, the unbeatable and undoubtable adjudication Dex. And for Haryana, this is a back-to-back, I believe. Yes, the Haryana team are here to show us that they have good debaters. And yes, they did it before and they have done it again. Congratulations, Team Haryana and Andhra Pradesh as well. And congratulations as well to the best debater by the name Tita Kamara and then Maimuna Joe, the promising debater. So over to you, my deputy. You may take over.
Yes, a very good evening once again. I just wanted to make a few clarifications. When you said the best debater for today's debate, are you inferring the best debater for this session or the best debater for the entire debate that was held alongside the most promising debater as well?
Could you repeat that? I didn't catch that.
Okay, what I'm trying to get at is you did crown the best debater and the most promising debater, right? But I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
understand if that is as a result of today's debate or the entire debate session, because usually the best debater is crowned for the entire session.
Okay.
So I'm asking if what you just mentioned, the best debater and the promising debater, is that for today or the entire debate that was held?
It was from today. It was from today's debate, the finals.
So that still does not put who the best debater is on the table then.
Wait, you mean you? I think what you're trying to say is that were you saying that you preferred if we added the marks from all the debates that participants competed in?
Well, I'm not saying that's what I prefer. I'm saying as of what we know of, or as of what we've seen, usually the best debater is taken from the cumulative marks and somewhat calculations, but not from the actual finals of the debate. But if this is how you intend to do it, I'm just asking for clarification.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. And okay, so to clarify, that is how we decided to do it this time, because we've realized there are some very good debaters that did not make it as far as the finals. So I think in that regard, that's why we decided to just choose the ones that are in the finals from this session. And that is where the opposition leader and the prime minister emerged the best speaker and most promising debater, respectively. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Bai, for that clarification. Now we would like to invite the Vice President, His Excellency Mr. Maud Lewis, to kindly give the closing remarks for tonight's session.
Sorry, SG, before that, we need to have presentation, please, of the best debater and the promising debater. May I proceed?
Yes, you may, please.
Okay, so thank you very much. To the impartial adjudication desk, thank you for those adjudications and impartial adjudications here and there. So before proceeding with that, I think I'd also want to clarify something here. That is with regards to the awards of the best debater and the promising debater. So as a norm, as of people that have been part of the debating arena and whatnot, usually when you're crowning the best debater and the promising debater, it's those that make it to the finale. So it's based on that particular debate, not like you go far-fetched it. From time immemorial, in our first edition, the one that won the debate made it to the finale, the best debater. And in the second edition, also the same thing happened. So this time around, too, I believe it should not be an exception. That aside, I'd move on to the awards. Mr. VP, may you please share your screen? So actually, we had purchased the awards already, but the thing is, we have not customized it. That is, because we do not know who is going to be crowned the best debater or who would be the winner of the said debate. So we would start with the runners up, which is the state of the state of Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh, thank you for having a back-to-back. From the last year, you were in the finale. This year also you came in the finale. Next year, we pray and hope that you come to the finale and grab this, mighty trophy of GAM-IND. So this is the award we will be giving to the runners-up, the two of you, who is Honorable Tida Kamara and of course Honorable Momodu Bailo Bari. So then we move to the other session of the award, which is the best debater. The best debater award. This is how it will be. So we would have to write the name of Honorable Tida Kamara on it because we're made to understand that is the opposition leader that won it. Actually, the how do I put it? The one that gave the first remark, that's the first president of Gamin, was supposed to present this one, but then he's been caught up. He has some engagements, so he couldn't. So to the the promising debate, I don't know if Rahia too is with us. Madam Rahia too, are you with us? May somebody please confirm if she's with us? Oh, it seems she's not in the call. So I'd move straight to presenting the most promising debater. And the most promising debater goes to Honorable Maimuna Job. Congratulations, Maimuna, for being the second, most promising debater of Gambian. So, David, I can say with certainty that your mantle has been taken over. And to Fatufai, I can equally say that the mantle of the best debater had also been eroded from today onwards. And I suppose you congratulate them. And I'm really honored to have these individuals in my executive because they're people that are taking participated in this competition. And again, they're proving themselves beyond all reasonable doubt. So congratulations to Honorable Maimuna Job for being Gambian's most promising debater 2025-2026. Now we move to the champion of the champions. VP, should I do the presentation or you would go ahead with it?
No,
So
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, His Excellency, go ahead.
this one, I feel like I should not mention it because anyway, Mandinkas would say Sabajambo was baringo datila, but let me just try. Okay, so would I say a back to back, or would I say a back rest and then back? Either ways, the state of Haryana had reclaimed their title, they've reclaimed their mantle, the winners of the first edition, and today we can say they're the winners of the third edition of the Gambian Interstate Debate Championship. So next year, I suppose all states will prove themselves beyond reasonable doubt to defeat Haryana, because that is always what I would look up for. Like when we get into competitions, let it alternate, and that way people can see to read that okay, it's not just from one side. However, congratulations to the duo of Honorable Abdurrahman Fati and Honorable Maimuna Job. Congratulations for coming this far, for winning the competition, retaining this particular trophy in your state for the second time. And then to all the state members of Haryana, the Alcalo, and every other individual that have been coaching you people, you did absolutely well. Congratulations to you. And I would say a similar thing to the state of Andhra Pradesh. A better luck, and we pray and hope that you come back stronger next year. This is not the end of the journey. This is not the end of the race. Next year is there. We will be heading to the fourth edition of the set, and we'll have the center executive actually facilitating that. So we pray and hope that you guys will be able to beyond all the odds of all reasonable doubts, winning the championship of GAM-IND. That being said, I suppose that does it for the presentation of the award, and to every other individual that was part of this competition. We say kudos to you, congratulations for taking the ball step representing your various states. With this, SG, I hand over to you, and I suppose VP is supposed to do the closing remarks. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, His Excellency, for that presentation. And once again, congratulations to all winners. And just a reminder to this house that we are all winners. And thank you all once again, debaters, for taking part in it and making the third edition of the Gambian Interstate debate a success. You all have definitely brought it this far and made it possible once again. So without wasting much more time now, it's already late here in India, and I would like to call on the Vice President, His Excellency Mr. Modi Lewis, to kindly give us a closing remarks before the people from Andhra start painting here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. SG. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible, please.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum once again. I am Modi Lewis, the Vice President of the Association of Gambian Students in India, the ninth executive. First thing I'll say is Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We have completed the GAM-IND. Yeah, Mr. SG, you are laughing. It was really not easy, to be honest. But thank God, with the help of Allah and strength, we have completed the GAM-IND Interstate Debate Championship. Yeah, I just want to start by thanking our official partners, which is the UTGDA, for the job well done. Yeah, I know it's not easy to adjudicate, to be honest. It's really, really not easy because sometimes people will be blaming here and there, and you have to use your, you have to make your judgments based on facts or based on the presentation, trying to, separate your emotions or your likes and everything, just to give a fair treatment to everyone. So I will say thank you once again, and all to our invited guests like the poets, the guest speakers, the first president of GAM-IND, the first vice president of GAM-IND. We say thank you very much for joining us today. And yeah, I will also say a very big thank you, to my former president, His Excellency Ibrahim Abo, for joining us today. I guess today you might be really proud that okay, we are carrying on your legacy, because I guess some of these things started last year and year before last, during your tenure, but yet still we are trying to uphold it, and do even more better than that. Yeah. So lastly, I will come to the debaters. Thank you very much and congratulations to the winners. All of you are winners, to be honest. But at the end of the day, we have to choose a finalist or someone who is going to carry the trophy for a year. Don't celebrate for too long, because it's just gonna be a year, and maybe someone might come and take it away from you. Maybe next year it will be Maharashtra, because to be honest, we have tried a lot. We have tried a lot. And to the other debaters, what I will say is, don't give up. This is just the starting of it. I myself have participated twice in the debate. Once a quarterfinalist, another time a semi-finalist. The president Saja AK Jaja went to final. Moses David. Most of the executive have participated. Even our deputy information minister Abdullah Bawa participated during Students Week celebration. So it's good sometimes we come together, share our ideas and all of those stuffs. Though my president ran because I can remember during our debate we faced Gujarat at the semi-final and they beat us. So I was like, okay, Sadio, I will debate Sadio during the independence, but eventually he ran. I don't know why. He didn't give me my payback. I don't know why. Yeah. Oh, we debated and we were in the same team, but we didn't get to debate again. Yeah. So, and another thing before I conclude, I just want to say, there are more events coming on Come In. We will have other debates and other events that we are going to have. Next week we are going to have two events, which is going to be a webinar about inspiring the next generation of Gambia innovators, exploring opportunities in the STEM education. These are very important topics that we feel as Gambians. We should sit down and discuss about it. Not only Gambians in the diaspora, but even the Gambians who are at the country. These are things we should come and think, because we cannot just sit down and complain every day. Okay, the government is not working, our educational system is not working and all of those stuff, but what are we going to do about it? What are we planning to do about it? Yes, we are in India, we are in US, we are in Morocco, but we all have a role to play at the end of the day. So and that will be on Saturday, the webinar, and on Sunday we are going to have a gam in Pantaba, yeah, which will be hosted on X, that is formerly called Twitter, for the first time. I invite all of you. You should not miss out that one, because that one, it's not only, we don't have panelists from India only. We have panelists from other countries, like we have panelists from Morocco. We have panelists from the Gambia. It's, to be honest, let me just keep quiet, because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But when they reveal the participants, or when they reveal the panelists, you will know that okay, this conversation is going to be a really, really good conversation. So please tell a friend to tell a friend, everyone. I'm giving you a rendezvous on Saturday. We attend the webinar on Sunday. We go to X and have a very, very, very wonderful Pantaba, a good conversation. And thank you very much, SG. And to all the members who attended this debate, we appreciate it very much. Thank you and have a good night.
Wow, what a closing remark. I was thinking you were moderating another phase of the meeting or this gathering, which I'm not aware of, His Excellency. But anyway, thank you. And to conclude it from my end, I would say that I can see that Andhra Pradesh is the UDP of this association, as the deputy, how would I say, deputy education minister stated. Anyway, thank you all for attending this debate, being the last and final edition of the third edition of the Gambian Interstate debate. It was a pleasure having you all on board to share your suggestions and everything that you had. Thank you for taking your time and being with us all through. I am Moses Oyen Dobasin, your moderator for tonight, together with David S. Juba. See you all soon for the Independence celebration, which advertisements or which will be unveiled to you all soon about the venue and the other necessary information. I am Moses once again. Have a good night. Officially, this meeting is declared closed. Thank you.
Yeah, Rafandu, I don't small it.